The snow was falling softly, blanketing the park in white silence. The world felt calm, still, except for the storm brewing quietly inside Adam Turner's chest. He stood beside the wooden bench, holding a steaming paper cup of coffee that had long gone cold. His little boy, Liam, laughed as he formed snowballs, his blue scarf fluttering in the wind, his joy echoing against the frozen air. For a moment, Adam allowed himself to smile. Then he heard the softest gasp, a sound that didn't belong to the winter. He turned. Across the path, standing near a lamppost wrapped in faded Christmas lights, was a woman he hadn't seen in almost 7 years. She was bundled in a cream coat and a pink scarf, her breath fogging in the cold. Her hands trembled around a small journal pressed to her chest. And her eyes, those eyes, filled with tears the instant they met his. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the miracles that time sometimes hides behind pain, then please, before we go further, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, because what happens next will remind you that no heart stays broken forever. Her name was Claire. Once, she was everything to him. Laughter in summer rain, his muse, his reason for giving up the reckless life he'd led in his 20s. Back then, Adam wasn't the man he was now. He'd been a mechanic with dreams that broke faster than his old tools. They had met in a coffee shop when she spilled her drink on his sketchbook, apologizing 100 times while he couldn't stop staring at her smile. They fell in love fast, fiercely, the kind of love that makes the world feel lighter. But time and tragedy have their own cruel rhythm. Claire had dreams too, bigger than the small town that trapped them. She wanted to write, to travel, to see the world through something other than loss and fear. And Adam, he wanted to be worthy of her. But one cold winter, everything shattered. He lost his younger brother in a motorcycle crash. A night that turned his heart to stone. He pushed everyone away, even Claire. Grief made him cruel, silent, unreachable. One night, he told her to leave because he couldn't bear the thought of her staying out of pity. She begged him to talk, to let her in, but his pain had built walls taller than her love could climb. When she finally walked away, she didn't just leave the house. She took every color with her. Years later, Adam rebuilt himself piece by piece. He quit the old biker gang that once ruled his nights. He found steady work at a garage in the city, and became a single father when life surprised him with a son from a short-lived marriage that ended before it ever truly began. Liam was his world now, the one thing that made him believe there was still good left in him. But Claire? She had become a ghost he spoke to in dreams. Until today. The snow crunched beneath her boots as she stepped closer. Liam turned to look at her, his gloved hand holding a snowball midair. "Daddy," he said softly, "why is that lady crying when she sees you?" Adam's heart almost stopped, because that lady was the past he thought he'd buried, standing right there in front of him, trembling in the cold. Claire smiled weakly at Liam before her eyes shifted back to Adam. The park around them faded, no sound but the hush of snow and the heartbeat hammering in both their chests. Adam didn't know what to say. Words felt too small, too late. He wanted to ask her how she'd been, but it was clear that time hadn't erased the ache. She looked at him with a quiet disbelief, as if trying to reconcile the man she once loved with the father standing before her. Then, slowly, she said, "You have a son." He nodded, eyes softening. "Yeah. His name's Liam." There was pride in his voice, but also guilt. Guilt that she had to find out like this, after so many lost years. They stood there, 3 souls bound by the weight of what could have been. Liam, in all his innocence, ran up to her and handed her the snowball he'd made. "Here," he said. "You look sad. Daddy says snow makes everything better." Claire crouched down, smiling through tears. "He's right," she whispered. "Your daddy always found beauty in broken things." Adam turned away, pretending to brush snow from his coat, but his eyes burned. They ended up walking together through the park, talking about simple things at first, how the world had changed, how life had gone on. Claire told him she was now a children's author, that her stories were inspired by the people she'd met along the way. He told her about his garage, about raising Liam alone, about learning to be a better man. For the first time in years, laughter slipped between them again, fragile but real. As the snow deepened, they stopped near the frozen pond. Adam looked at her and asked quietly, "Why were you here today?" She hesitated, then held up the small journal she'd been clutching. "I come here every year," she said. "It's where I wrote my first story, the one about loss and forgiveness. I didn't know you'd be here." Her voice broke, "But maybe I was supposed to." Adam exhaled, the breath clouding between them like a ghost of everything unspoken. "Claire," he said finally, "I'm sorry. For everything I said. For the man I was." She shook her head gently. "You don't have to apologize for being broken, Adam. We both were. Life broke us in different ways, but maybe it's not too late to forgive the people we used to be." For a long moment, neither spoke. The world around them was silent, except for the laughter of Liam making snow angels nearby. Then Adam stepped closer and said, almost in a whisper, "You look happy, Claire. I'm glad." But her tears betrayed her. "I'm trying," she said. "But some ghosts never leave, do they?" He wanted to reach out to wipe away those tears like he used to. Instead, he just smiled, a sad, knowing smile. "Maybe they don't leave," he said. "Maybe they just find a way to live beside us." They walked Liam home together, the three of them sharing warmth in the freezing air. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the city lights began to shimmer against the snow. At the corner near his apartment, Claire stopped. "This is where I go," she said softly. Adam nodded, unsure what to say. Liam looked up at her and smiled. "Are you coming again tomorrow?" Claire knelt and hugged him. "Maybe I will," she said, "if your daddy doesn't mind." Adam met her gaze. He'd like that, and for the first time, there was something new in their eyes. Not pain, not regret, but peace. That night, after tucking Liam into bed, Adam sat by the window, watching the snow fall again. He thought about how life had led him full circle, back to the place where it all began. He picked up his phone and typed a message he'd rehearsed 1,000 times in his mind but never sent. "Thank you for today, for forgiving me, even if you never said the words." Minutes later, her reply came, "I didn't have to say them, Adam. You already did." He smiled, the kind of smile that feels like breathing after years underwater. Sometimes life doesn't give us the ending we want, but it gives us a second chance to write a better one. A week later, the park looked different, brighter, alive. Claire met them again, carrying 2 cups of coffee this time. Liam ran ahead, laughing as he called her name. Adam watched her from afar and realized something simple yet profound. Some stories don't need to be rewritten, they just need to be continued. They sat together on that same bench where fate had found them again. The snow fell gently, and the world felt right. Not perfect, not painless, but real. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, because kindness, forgiveness, and love deserve to be remembered. Before you go, tell us in the comments, do you believe people from our past can reappear to heal what time couldn't?